So yesterday I tried to get good stitch out of this machine, Singer 401G, but I wasn't able to do it. It was hard to make the tension correctly. The bottom side of the fabric looked bad. I could get the upper side of the thread looking good. You can watch the previous video to see the results. And I posted the video to YouTube and asked people their opinions. I didn't get much views obviously because it's just a niche subject and I don't have much follow in my channel, but I posted the link to the video to Facebook in Old School Singer Sewing Machine group, and also in Finland similar Facebook group that is dedicated for old school sewing machines, not only for Singer, but we don't have so many people here in Finland, so there's no specific Facebook groups for all of the brands, just a generic old school sewing machine group. And I got multiple tips. One was to change the needle to be, what is the brand? From Germany, the old school brand that is very high quality. I look it from my needle stash. Schmetsch. This is overlock needle, but this brand. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I didn't have Schmetsch needles for regular sewing machine, but I had I had like very old package of Schmetsch needles, and I changed it to size 75, which equals to 11. There's also always two different sizes that I mean, let's say like in a car you can measure the speeds by miles in an hour and kilometers per hour, so two different type of measuring. So 75 or 11 depends what you use. And also I changed the thread to higher quality. This is 100% cotton thread from Sweden. Mullnycke is the brand, and I have had good results with this thread. I spooled new bottom thread and used this as an upper thread, also same thread, upper and lower thread, and I got good results for few seconds. And then I got a few comments in a Facebook group that it could be excess oil that makes it hard for the tension to be precise, and also many other comments. But the main things that I'm going to do now is take the upper thread tensioning thing apart again. I cleaned it once yesterday, but also I got a comment that the shaft in the middle, like I think he called it pin, but anyway, pin or shaft here in the middle of the plates needs to be cleaned as well, because I assume that the thread slides against the central pin. So the plates are now cleaned, but it didn't make a big effect. The needle was changed and it helped for a while. So I'm going to clean this again, and also the bottom thread area, like the bobbin case, leaf spring, I mean the spring steel And what else? I put these needles away. And also in previous video I told you guys that I had problems to attach the previous old school. This is socket, but what is this? Plug. The old school plug was too sharp. These were too sharp. It had these modern slots, so it was physically capable of going inside this plastic housing of this socket, but those metal plugs here were too sharp to move these red covers away in the bottom of this socket. So now I changed this modern plug to end of this cable, and now it slides nicely here to the socket, extension cord socket. And also I'm going to show you one trick. So I don't use this anymore. I mean, I use it in the beginning where there is a lot of loose lint and dust. I use this brush. But when there is like old grease or old oil that has gotten a bit sticky, and that sticky oil has mixed with the dust and lint, this is not enough to remove it. It just spreads it around. Then I have a trick in my sleeve. I'm taking some fabric that I'm not using. There's still price. Oh, this has already been like a loose piece of fabric when it was purchased. It's like end piece, because the price was not in meters. It was €5 for a piece, so it has been some leftover piece in some, I don't know, discounted area. Sorry, I have to sneeze because I've been having a flu and now it's better, but I went downstairs of our building. The construction workers were removing our old freezer room machine, and there was insulating wool. I don't know, it's synthetic wool, and that was so dusty, and I have this insulating dust in my nostrils. But yeah, I'm going to cut. I haven't done this for a while. I can't remember the best size that I figure it. But let's start from somewhere and make more pieces when we need them, because maybe people have been using paper towel for this, or old rags, or what is the cotton swipes, I mean cotton sticks or something like this, to go in a small, is it crevice, and clean things out. But I think those are not capable of, not suck, but get the dirt sucked into the cotton. I forgot what the word is in English, but like a sponge that can absorb the excess oil and stuff. It has only so little of the material, and paper towel leaves lots of dust and like small paper dust in the mechanism. Is there sliding area? I don't want to leave paper towel dust in this machine. I've been experimenting with different ways to do it, and the thing is that this is something that I found out is the best method for me, at least. I show you guys how I do it. It's a bit hard without the table. It doesn't need to be exact, it just needs to be, is it in the ballpoint or something? In the, like, so I folded it once and cut. Now I'm folding it second time and cutting. Let's try to make it in the halfway of this. I try to use this table, but it's much easier. Yeah. Okay, now I have 4 long pieces of fabric and I'm going to line them evenly and I'm going to cut squares out of it. They don't need to be exact. Normally I would like it to be completely white, but I wasn't able to find completely white because when using white fabric you can see as it absorbs the dirt, you can see easily when it's too dirty to continue and change to the new pad. And then I just cut squares out of it. Sometimes I make them smaller than squares. This time the fabric is so wide, maybe closer to 2 inches wide or 1.5. Some of them are 1.5 and some of them are approximately 2 inches. Maybe I make them 1 inch or 1.25 wide. Yeah. And now I use tweezers with them. And I can soak these in a rubbing alcohol or brake cleaner or whatever solvent I want and go around this machine. Here I have 1 liter of isopropyl alcohol and here I have brake cleaner. Brake cleaner, if I remember correctly, has acetone in it, so it can harm the finishing paint and lacquer and such finishing products that has been used in this machine. So only use brake cleaner to parts that are bare metal. So now I'm going to disassemble this upper thread tensioner first. Let's see if the video is still running. And yes, it is. Yesterday I forgot how to assemble this because I did it already once. It was so dirty, but I forgot to clean the shaft in the middle. And by the way, there's a channel called, named Andy Tube. And he has made a video how to assemble and disassemble these. Oh, and there's small set screw. Don't lose it, it's super small. I put it back to that hole, threaded hole, and make few turns to the screw so that it doesn't go through the part so I can assemble it, but I don't lose the screw. So let's take everything apart. For this I'm going to use the paper towel, because these are removed from the machine, so it's not likely that when I'm working here with the parts that the dust somehow gets inside of the machine. So I cleaned these yesterday with the brake cleaner, and I use, I don't know what these are called in English. But this has been, inside of these gloves are powder, and I no, they don't have powder, and these are made out of nitrile, at least in Finnish it's called nitrile, but these are more likely to withstand the solvents than normal gloves. I did, in beginning of yesterday when I was cleaning, I didn't use these and my hands got very dry because this is so strong solvent, the acetone, the brake cleaner with inks, which has acetone in it. I've broken the cap so it sprays a little bit weird. But I just wipe this down, and now I'm going to focus in the middle area so that the whole of the plates are cleaned well. Yeah, and this paper towel clearly leaves some lint. I try to remove the lint. And I make this paper towel in a small circle, I mean a little bit pointy, and put it through the hole and twist it inside of this hole. Yeah. It has 3 plates. I'm going to clean all of them very, very well. And these are very clean already because I cleaned them yesterday. But just to make sure that I clean the hole as well. Then the rest of the parts are not. This pushes against this part, which squeezes the plates against the housing of the plates. Maybe I can clean this a little bit. It's painted, but I don't at the moment care about the aesthetics of this machine. I do it quickly so it doesn't. Oh, it was very dirty. This type of crevice or small place is very ideal for using these, because it's hard to get inside of this with a paper towel. I put this, let's take another one. I put it in here in the cap of some plastic thing. spray a little bit of brake cleaner, and now I make it this kind of small thing, and I wipe inside of here. It was dirty. Yeah. Then the next part, this is where the numbers are. I'm not going to clean the numbers with the acetone because I don't want to lose the numbers. But just very quick wipe. The paint seems to be very high quality. It doesn't, at least with this quick wiping, it doesn't remove the paint. Then I clean this with the paper towel again, because this is flat. It was already pretty clean. So this is not an assembly guide. I'm just going to do this process fairly quickly. These parts are not touching the threads, so these are not so important. The plates are the most important, I think, and this shaft. But I have this area open. I figure, why don't I just clean them as I go, just in case. Now this is the, it sets the zero position of the thread adjusting part, thread tensioner. It locks the zero position. These are pieces that you only touch with your hand. These definitely are not going to touch the thread, but let's continue cleaning them just in case. I'm not going to be so precise with these. But now comes the part that people said in a Facebook comment that might be the reason for the upper thread not capable of staying in a good tension. So I clean the shaft with acetone. Okay, it should be very clean. Now I also, because I have this area open, I try to put these. I'm a little bit frustrated of this machine, so I'm not so precise, and I don't do it nicely because I'm frustrated of this machine. This is parts machine that I just want to get to work. This is not a like expensive vintage machine that is rare. This is pretty common machine, and this goes like in a working condition, but not in the not set up well. But everything works, but it's not working properly. Like it needs this kind of adjustments. This goes for like 20 euros to maybe 60 euros, and when these are working very well and have been cleaned and set up well, this goes for maybe 75 to 150 euros. Maybe if it has some nice extra things we did, like purchasing receipt and handbook and these pressure feeds and such, and the carrying luggage, and you take nice pictures with the DSLR, like very good camera, and make good advertisement in the second-hand web page, then you might get like 150 to 200. But still, these are fairly cheap and common machines. Not to say that these are not good, these are extremely good in my opinion. These are strong and the gears are made out of high quality metal. Fairly easy to maintain. Spare parts are available, at least in some extent, like basic parts. I mean, if you crack the gear, maybe then not, but like these use the same needles as every other machine and every common machine, and if you cannot purchase the spare part, then you can purchase a cheap parts machine like this. Yeah. Then I think this area is clean enough. Hey, where is the spring? Here, I still have this spring. Let's take a new paper towel. This doesn't touch the thread, only in, if I remember correctly, end of this loop. But the spring itself, the springy part of the spring, doesn't touch anything. Yeah, it has some maybe rust or old oil, I don't know, and I don't care. And let's assemble this. Forgot this plate. You want this spring pointing downwards, and then you turn it upwards so it has a tension. Hey, it's in the wrong area. It wasn't completely around the shaft, it was in the middle of the shaft. Come on. Then this part, the plus and minus part facing upwards, obviously. Then the spring. What else? This that locks the zero position. And then this that sets the tension. I put it so that when you start to set the tension, you are looking for the zero position. This specific machine goes from 0 to 9. So first you set the 0. You have to have the pressure fit facing down. In the like down position. And you trying to find the tension where this part that has the plus and minus written into it, when you pull it away from the tensioning plates, doesn't touch them or touch them only very, very slightly. I think that's loose enough. I can always change it. And now let's put this in 0 position. So there's inside of this housing, I don't know if I can show you guys this. Let's try. I don't know where it can see it, if it can at all. There's a small piece that is like this inside of this housing, and you need to put it in a 0 position. Yeah. Then you put this. Oops, and I put it around incorrectly. At least now it's cleaned. Hey, vitsit. I take back everything I just said. What did I do wrong? I did the same thing yesterday. I forgot how to assemble this. Ah, yeah. I think I did everything right, but Now it cannot open. I don't know what I did differently this time. I'm too tired for this. It somehow jumps over the small knob. And now it locks. I don't know what I did. Maybe it was too loose in the beginning. But now it works. Now I assume that all of the parts are covered in excess oil. Here I clean the needle. Let's open new roll of paper towel. Yeah. These are not so well suited for this kind of cleaning because again these are not crevices or holes. This is coming from the machine and you need to clean the outer surface. But this needle area is also covered with excess oil and also the pressure fit and everything. What if I put lots of paper towel to cover the top part of this? Let's remove everything from here first. Ui. And I cleanse those parts as well. Let's put paper towel underneath everything like this and spray a little bit of brake cleaner here. And I try to protect the surfaces of this machine. like this. Maybe my left hand is in front of you all the time. I don't know, probably yeah. Everything goes away from the trash bin. Now we approach area that this works well. Of course there needs to be oil, but not as much as there is now. Also there's grime and everything. And I rotate it like this, both directions. Wipe. Oh, it's so dirty. Let's turn it around so I get more clean surface area. The area is so dirty over here. I just maneuver the dirt around and make it dirtier everywhere. It needs multiple of these. Fuck, I just... Let's wipe with a dry to get rid of the already removed grime and acetone to absorb it to this clean one. Clean and dry one. I'm not going to polish it or make it super clean, just clean enough. head is probably so badly. Let's try it this way. I can see better and maybe you can see as well. Now I need to block your view a bit so I can see these last areas. Okay. I don't know, should I remove this? If it opens fairly easily, I can. Maybe I don't want to open it, even though it's pretty dirty, the needle area. But there's a risk. Maybe if I don't get it exactly to the same spot, 0.5 millimeter might make a difference in timing. Could it be possible to clean it from this position? A bit more. Let's hope it's clean enough. Yeah, this is covered in oil, this bottom thread area. Again, I don't need it to be perfect. Just get rid of the most of the dirt and oil. I said I wouldn't touch with the acetone to the finish of this machine, but at the moment I don't care too much, and it doesn't seem to affect it a lot. Now I'm going to use so many of these. Let's hope I don't have any needles in my trash bin. This is full of lint. Not the worst I've seen. But pretty bad. First I take excess lint and oil with the dry rag. This is better position, I think. Also the hook area. Underneath the hook, I need to rotate the hook away. There's small areas that I can go. The hook is not so completely covering the what is underneath the hook. There's some holes, but I need to rotate the holes so that I can clean the underneath the hook through the openings of the hook. There's lint, there's strings. What if I put a little bit of this in a general area of the bottom? I don't know if it's a good or bad idea, or does it even matter? I cleaned it a little bit previously, but because of this started as a parts machine, I didn't clean it well enough. And also it's a bit frustrating because I had this open completely, take all the parts away when I changed the hook to the other machine, but now I don't bother to do it again, so I just clean as well as I could, as I can. But previously when I had it open, it would have been perfect opportunity to clean it thoroughly. And my head is in your way. Everywhere is. But I think more important than this area is the bobbin case. Let's move forward. It's not perfect, but I assume that if I clean everything, I can get at least better results than I had previously. This was pretty clean. Then this part, it's oily. Yeah. This feet, it's very covered with old grease. I mean oil. Here's some stubborn lint in the feet. The smell of acetone and the brake cleaner smell is so strong from the trash bin. And also the paper. I need to put it down so I don't get any effects. Good enough. And this is the part people told me is the most important. Let's clean it a couple of times. This I'm going to use the brush and everything that I can. There's so much grime. I mean, not that much, but something that is very stubborn. Maybe one way to clean it would be in a sink with the kitchen dishwashing brush and strong dishwashing soap or something. Oi vitsit. They said not to open these screws, but I already opened them so many times. I need to set the tension again. I do it here because I don't want to lose the screws, these are so small. Yeah, look at this if you can. I try in few different positions if you can see. Here, here, here. There's so much lint. This could have been the problem all the time. Let's wipe it down. Then the spring steel. It's very light, so it can fly away easily. I mean, you can lose it. Just like I just did. Fuck. Oi, oi, oi. Now I need to take piece by piece out of here. Oh, luckily it was on the top. Need to be more careful. But at least I showed you an example how light it is and how easily you can lose it. Yep. And then these small screws, I'm not going to bother to, I just bother to clean them like separately. I just put these inside of the paper, put a little bit of this and roll them inside of the paper because these are so small. Yeah, these are clean enough now. And let's assemble this bobbin case. The smaller screw is to attach it and the bigger screw is to adjust the tension. Sorry, you cannot see this. I need light and be on top of the table not to lose it. Okay. I need to take these away. Ah, sweaty hands. I'm not getting the first screw in the thread so well. Let's see if I can get the second one. Yeah, this goes in well. And this doesn't. What is wrong with it? Maybe the threads are bad in the screw or in the housing. Okay. It looks kind of good. Let's see how this is. It was tight. Now I need to get scale, like kitchen scale. It should be 23 grams. Let's see. So I have two scales. I can't remember which one was more accurate. it needs to show minus. Let's clean this bobbin a bit, at least on the surfaces. If it has some excess oil. Fuck. Maybe a little bit more. And let's take some string away, thread away, because I just soaked it with acetone. I put it in approximate area of what I assume it should be. Not even close. I don't know. This could be completely wrong. If I remember correctly, somebody said it should be 23 grams to pull, but I previously googled it should be like 26. Let's put from the between this number like 24 or 25. Maybe this is 25. We will see. Then I take some regular tape, packing tape this time, and I attach the thread in the scale, and then I zero it out. Okay, zero it. Oh, it's only 5 grams. Maybe it's easier on the table. Let's zero it. Now it's 10. Oh, my finger was on top of it. Zero it. 19. $24. Let's try it like this. Could we be even in approximate correct tension? 24 grams feels way more than that. The scale might be not so accurate. Let's see. Like that. What else? This. pressure feed. Let's put it not super tight, but a little bit tighter than what I was able to put it with fingers. Then this, I put 1 drop of oil here. I have to. I don't feel good if there is no drop of oil. Okay, let's try without oil first. I've been soaking it in oil and getting bad results. I can always oil it later. Yeah. Let's take away a little bit, just in case. Oh yeah, I don't have needle yet. Now, this is the moment of truth. Let's cut another piece of this fabric, because the thread I have now is white. And that's why I don't want to use white thread for that. White fabric for that. It wouldn't show at all. Okay. Moment of truth. And the same problem continues. It pulls to the side. The bottom thread pulls the upper thread to the side, not in the middle, but to the side. I'm so frustrated. Because if it would be just the tension, then wouldn't it be that the bottom thread pulls evenly from both sides and the narrower zigzag that is on the bottom. Normally, if it's set up correctly, both zigzags would be evenly paced. But now the bottom zigzag is narrower. That indicates it's tighter. But shouldn't it be in the middle? Now it's on the side. I really don't know what causes it to be on the side. Let's tighten the upper thread. Okay. It's better, but we are very tight. We are having very tight upper thread. And the whole fabric starts to tighten a little bit. So that indicates to me that the bottom thread must be a little bit too tight. This is never-ending problem to adjust this all the time. Let's see. Put it back to 7. Let's loosen it a little bit more. Okay. We are getting there, I assume. This is not the best way of adjusting the bottom thread, at least in my opinion. I could purchase the scale that is specifically made for measuring bottom thread tension. Good ones cost hundreds of euros. I don't know, maybe industrial ones, thousands. But you can purchase like a mechanical one for, if I remember correctly, less than 10 euros from AliExpress, if I remember correctly. And digital one, cheap digital one from AliExpress for, it was maybe 60 or 50 euros. A few years ago when I checked them, the prices have gotten up after COVID. But let's see. Let's loosen it a little bit more. Yeah, now I need to loosen this a little bit. We are heading to the right direction in my, I guess, at least I guess so. Very small increments. I move this back to the 5. in my opinion, the machine doesn't sound so happy at the moment. Let's loosen it a touch more. Ui, I moved it a lot. Touch more. I mean, I decrease it touch more. Ui. Let's see what it says. Let's decrease it even more. But only slightly. Let's put it 4.5. Now it starts to pull the lower thread upwards, so I assume that I need to tighten the bottom thread a little bit. Yeah, I will tighten it a little bit. Just so carefully, just a little bit. And now this is the story of my life. It pulls again. I don't know what to do. Let's put 4.5 and tighten it. The thread might not be so well winded on the bobbin. I tighten it just over so slightly. I mean, let's look again. Yeah, I need to loosen it. Need to be careful with this. Let's put it closer to 5. For most people, I think this would be like for people who just sawed and doesn't maintenance machines themselves. I think for a vintage machine, it's at the moment it's in the ballpoint that it could be enough for the most users. I take it back. It's so frustrating. Now I think it's close enough. So it's 4.5 here, and whatever it's in the bottom area. Let's do one straight. And it's completely off again. Let's see if this is filming. Yeah. It seems to pull evenly, but it definitely doesn't look the best. Not the worst, but not the best. It's a bit wavy in the one corner. Yeah, yeah, it pulls in the one corner. Every now and then, yeah. Let's take it off. Let's change the thread and spool it again. Oy. This also, if it hits to the ground, it can bend the bobbin. The problem is that these plastic sticks that this spool sits are not long enough for the spool I have, the thread spool or whatever it's called, so it wobbles. And also I need to change the winding. Where's the trash bin? Where's the trash? There. Let's say this. Here I have some bobbin rings. I have one original here, like the old school one. It has flat spot. I'd rather put new one, even though these are lower quality ones, but at least they don't have flat spots. So I changed this. Bobbin winding ring from here. I don't want to lose any parts. You don't need to open this. This is a different model. In some models you do it from the, you know, from hand wheel area. I was about to say something else, but I don't know how much I need to disassemble this. Yeah. So greasy. I wonder who has been maintaining this machine and what kind of grease they have used. I think these are areas that needs to be oiled, not greased, but I could be wrong. They have used some excess oil. And this is hardened. The rubber needs to be pliable. Oh, like it just rips apart rather than stretches. And let's hope my fingers are not too oily. Okay. All right. The mechanism works well enough for now. Let's see if the type of thread used makes a difference. The previous thread I used is higher quality than I used in the first video. And I like it because it's rounded straight to the spool and not like the modern spools that are supposed to be this way. They are winded like a zigzag in there. This is straight. So it's supposed to be upwards. But let's see if I change to, is it Gutermann or something? German, very high quality thread. Hey, here I have some threads that are I think at least relatively high quality. Let's do it with Gutermann. Only 100 meters. These are small spools. I have somewhere bigger spools. Or maybe I could take something that is smaller so it doesn't wobble so much on top of this, and I take this. Let's see. This doesn't wobble at least as much as these taller ones. Let's see if I need to hold it down or something. Let's see if I need to hold it down or something. It winds fairly evenly. And this doesn't wobble. Now it does. It's spooled way nicer than it did previously. And now the problem is that the bottom thread tension is way, like, I don't even know what it is anymore. But let's try. It feels like it's very loose. I could be wrong. Moment of truth again. the stitch is perfect. Maybe touch on the tight side, and it varies still a little bit, but it's so close. I loosen this a little bit, and maybe this is never ending obsession. It was better previously, so I loosened it. It's so close all the time. Maybe this is the thing that this kind of old mechanical machines, you can just get close enough in a situation where you don't want to disassemble and reassemble everything. Maybe there is some variables in the other mechanical parts of this machine that generates this kind of problem. want to do it like that, probably. Let's see if this affects a lot. Okay, it's looking better after tightening this. Or I don't know. I might need to cut the video here. I don't like, I'll show you guys. It varies from very good to having like here it pulls from the side here. Then a few stitches are good. Here is relatively good, pulling just a slight bit from there. Then we continue this. Good, good, good. Then pulls again here. Good, good, good. Then pulls again. How about here? Pulls. Pulls all the time. Now that it's better. Pulls again. So it's I don't know, man. And here it pulls. I've been moving back and forward so slightly increments that I don't even know what to do. I need to stop here because it's not going anywhere. I need some help again. Thank you.